Jared Goff is going to be a top 10 NFL quarterback for the Detroit Lions this season. Let me tell you why. All right, so here we are, guys, with the video on Jared Goff. So I know this is a Rams channel. However, I am still a lover of Jared Goff. I watch all of the Detroit Lions games now. So if you guys are coming here as Lions fans, trust me, I'll be talking about Jared Goff and the Lions throughout the season. I think the Lions are prepared to make a push for that last wild card spot this season, or even if Devontae Adams is really a big hit to the Packers, winning that division possibly. But I think it's all going to be behind this man right here, Jared Goff. So I'm going to be discussing why I think Jared Goff is poised to make a return to the top 10 rankings of the NFL quarterbacks this year. And I'm going to try to back that up with a bit of evidence as well as a bit of speculation. So if you guys are enjoying the video, make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe and comment down below your thoughts so I know kind of what the consensus on this is. But here we are on Google and we can see Jared Goff's stats. Let's start here. So obviously Jared Goff went to the Detroit Lions this past season and there were some varying results. They had a very bad start to the season. As you can see, they lost, I believe it was 8 games in a row, and then they had a tie finally in week 9, but that's not going to be the only thing. I do want to mention, it does look, if you just look very briefly at the stats, that Jared Goff had a drop off in production, which you would expect going from the Rams to the Lions. However, I don't think that's the truth. I think he had actually a better season with the Lions than he did with the Rams. And you're saying, hey, he had 700 less yards, less touchdowns. Well, there are less interceptions, but I mean, it's just less in every category. Well, he actually missed 3 games. So I kind of want to extrapolate out this data. You can see here, he didn't play in the week 10 game. He got hurt in the Pittsburgh game. And then he also didn't play in the week 15 or week 16 games. So he missed 3 games and he actually got hurt in 1. But he played most of the snaps. So we won't count that. So he missed 3 games. And I decided to do a little bit of statistics to kind of show you guys what I'm talking about. So here we are with the statistics. He had 3,245 passing yards in 14 games. So what I did is I divided the passing yards by the amount of games he played, got the average per game that he had, and then I times that by 17 to get how many passing yards he would have if he played a full season or 17 games. And that's going to come out to 3,940 passing yards. So that is much better. That is about on par with what he did the year before. If you can see here, basically the same amount of yards as he did before, just with the Lions. Then if we extrapolate his passing touchdowns, 19 passing touchdowns in 14 games. If he played all 17 games, we could expect around 23 passing touchdowns. That's about 1.3 touchdowns per game. So basically 2 touchdowns in 1 game and then 1 touchdown in each of the other 2 games. Definitely very doable. And then finally with the interceptions, he had 8 interceptions in 14 games. If he played the full season, we can most likely expect for him to have 10 interceptions, basically 2 interceptions in those last 3 games. So if he were to do that, he would have 3,940 yards, 23 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. If we compare that to his last season, basically on par with the yards, the touchdowns would be 3 more and the interceptions would be 3 less, and his rating would mostly likely go up because he was actually on a tear to end the season. But much better than his last year with the Rams, and then pretty on par considering the less picks with his 2019 season. Obviously not as good as his 2018 season where the Rams were just absolutely killing it. But also, with the Lions, he had the highest completion percentage he has ever had. That's most likely because he had a lot more short passes. They kind of complemented his game really well, not trying to take him or make him do stuff that he's not comfortable with. But the stats very good. If you compare him to other people with them extrapolated out, he's basically right above Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan had about 20 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. He definitely had a better season than basically everyone below Matt Ryan here. And there's 11 quarterbacks above Matt Ryan Ryan right here. So he would be inserted to about a top 12 quarterback if he were to play all 17 games last season, even though I know you guys don't think that way. But just from a statistical perspective, he would be a top 12 quarterback if he were to play all 17 games. If you don't think that he's going to improve, considering DJ Chark is now a Lion, as well as Jameson Williams, who is basically the best wide receiver in that draft class that they just drafted, and their line is now healthy. They have one of the best lines in the league, and they have DeAndre Swift, TJ Hawkinson. The Lions' offense is going to be very good. I've already done a video on this, but I think that Jared Goff could do extremely well and do even better than last season, which would put him as a top 10 quarterback. So that's personally what I think. And there is some more statistical evidence that would support this claim, I believe. If you take a look at the last 5 games that he played, obviously to start the season, they weren't winning. You know, they lost to Philadelphia by like 40 points. Obviously, they were on a losing streak. I will say that. His passing yards were good. They were good. But he wasn't throwing too many touchdowns. I mean, Jared Goff sometimes is known to be a selfless player. So he will let the running back score. Like they're not going to do too much. They're not going to try to risk passing in short scenarios on the goal line and everything like that. So he wasn't really scoring too much and all that. However, these last 5 games, you can see here, he had 200 yards in the last 4 games, and then also was averaging just over 2 touchdowns per game and only had 2 picks in that span. So in that span, he had about 11 touchdowns and 2 interceptions and was averaging in the 240-yard range. If he does that throughout the whole season, we could be looking at a top 7 to 8 statistical season for Jared Goff. I mean, easier said than done. However, these completion percentages, 84%, 60%, 61%, 80%, and 70%, that is extremely solid. And they were winning games at the end. They won against Green Bay. They won against Arizona, which was really a turning point. And they won against Minnesota. So they went about 3-2 in his last 5 games, and he played extremely well. If he does that carrying into next season, considering all the upgrades that Detroit has made, I think we're looking at an amazing season for Jared Goff. But I want to know what you guys think on this. I know that I'm a bit of a Jared Goff homer, but I just think he's going to, personally, if I have to give my predictions, I think he's going to be in that 4,500 yard range in terms of passing yards. I think he's going to keep his completion percentage around 66 to 67%. I think he'll up his TDs anywhere to the 26 to 27 touchdown area, maybe even 30 if we push it. And then interceptions, I think will stay in that 8 to 11 range. Interceptions, 8 to 11. And then even possibly getting that quarterback rating back into the hundreds as well. So if he's able to do that, I don't see how he's not a top 10 quarterback, especially with the Lions. Their defense still has some problems, but I think that offense is going to be lethal. What do you think, guys? Let me know in the comment section below. Leave a like and subscribe if you guys are enjoying the videos. Make sure you guys do that. It helps out the channel a lot. But other than that, it's going to be it for today. Comment down below your thoughts. I'm Zach with the Rams Fam. I'll see you in the next video.